Football.London have just reported that 7 players could leave Tottenham Hotspur this coming summer. A former Spurs goalkeeper has come out and said that Son still has a lot to give. Archie Gray, on his captain, he said he is still world class. Give Me Sport have just reported that Spurs are interested in 3 Crystal Palace players to purchase them this coming summer, and defeat for the Spurs women on Sunday. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all keeping well. This is another edition of Tottenham News, where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. And whilst I've got this opportunity, I'd like to thank every single one of you for subscribing to the channel. We have just reached 160,000 subscribers. So thank you so much for all of your incredible support. Now let's start by talking about Tottenham Hotspur captain Heung-Min Son. A current player and an ex-player have been talking about our captain. Archie Gray has been talking about Son and said he is definitely a world-class player, and as a person, he is probably one of the nicest guys I have ever met. Ever since I moved to the club, he has always sat down and had breakfast with me every morning. Archie Gray then went on to say, which for a new player at the club, you look at players like Son and Madders, all of them in the squad, to be fair, you wouldn't really expect them to go out their way to speak to a new 18-year-old signing who has just come in from the Championship. To be fair to them, they have helped me settle in really well, and everyone has been amazing with me. Former Tottenham Hotspur and England goalkeeper Paul Robinson has been talking about our current captain Heung-Min Son and said yes, he's had a dip in form, but people are very quick to judge though. It is only Heung-Min Son who is going to know whether he is struggling to cope with the Premier League or whether it is a case of him being out of form. To be fair to him, he has been playing in a poor team. Tottenham have been poor this season. Paul Robinson then went on to say it's a similar situation to Kevin De Bruyne at Manchester City, because time catches up with everybody at some point, and the fact that they have wisely extended his contract by another year means there is still some monetary value for him. But is it worth selling Heung-Min Son when you consider what he give you next year? Son brings in a lot of commercial value to the club as well, so there are a lot of factors to consider. I still believe he has a lot more to give. Give Me Sport have reported that Tottenham Hotspur face a tug of war to sign Crystal Palace midfielder Adam Wharton this summer, who is also being monitored by Newcastle and Aston Villa. Give Me Sport have also stated that Spurs are still interested in Crystal Palace duo Eze and Mark Guehi and are planning a double swoop for £138 million. Now on Sunday afternoon, the Tottenham Hotspur women were in action in the Women's Super League at home at Brisbane Road against Manchester City. We lost the game 2-1. City took the lead in the 11th minute. Beth England then equalised for Spurs in the 32nd minute. It was 1-1 at half-time, and then City got a late winner in the 78th minute. Boss Robert Villaham after the game said he is very disappointed to lose. Spurs have moved down to 7th in the WSL table. We have played 15 games. We have 17 points. Now for a couple of transfer rumours. Of course, the summer transfer window opens in around 3 months' time, and the rumours have started already. Reports in Spain are stating that Spurs are monitoring Barcelona frontman Ferran Torres. They face competition from North London rivals Arsenal, and the Spanish Giants want around £35 million for the forward. The Boot Room have just stated that highly rated Monaco star Lamine Camara has interest from Tottenham. Tottenham have joined the likes of Liverpool, Manchester City and Chelsea in the race for the Senegal international, but Monaco are in no rush to sell Camara after just one season and will resist any approaches, although their resolve could be tested depending on the size of any concrete bids that are actually tabled. Now, a couple of quick ones. Who Scored have just named Jed Spence in their team of the month for February 2025. Give Me Sport have stated that Yves Bissouma is allowed to leave Tottenham Hotspur this coming summer. There is a lot of interest in him currently from Marseille and Nice in France, and also from Premier League side Crystal Palace. And Football.London have just stated that Yves Bissouma, Richarlison, Sergio Reguilon, Brian Hill, Timo Werner, Fraser Forster and Alfie Whiteman could all leave the club this coming summer. So my thoughts on everything in this episode, and let me just start by saying thank you so much to all of you who do subscribe to YouTube. 160,000 subscribers, simply incredible. And a couple of weeks ago, we won the Sports Podcast Award for the Best Team Podcast 2025. I tell you what, all of the team at the Spurs Chat podcast are absolutely delighted to win the award, myself included. Simply incredible. And so thank you so much. A genuine thank you, a heartfelt thank you to everybody who voted for us and continues to support the channel. It has gone from strength to strength. The amount of subscribers, the amount of votes that you have submitted, simply incredible. So thank you so much for all of your incredible support. I can't thank you enough. Now let's get into this episode. Now, Football.London have stated that Bissouma, Richarlison, Reguilon, Brian Hill, Timo Werner, Fraser Forster, Whiteman, they could all leave the club this summer. I don't think it is a surprise to any of us, any of those names on that list. Whiteman, Forster and Reguilon are all out of contract in the summer, so I would fully expect them to leave. I would have expected Reguilon to leave before, but of course we've had a lot of injuries this season, so he's had to stay. Timo Werner, it simply hasn't worked out, and I'm going to leave that, and I'm going to leave that very politely. Richarlison and Bissouma, I tell you what, I was extremely excited. I know it's easy for people to say, oh, what did we buy Richarlison for? But I tell you what, at the time when we bought him, I was very excited because a very versatile player. I said at the time, can play on the left, can play on the right, can play through the middle. I just want to see the Richarlison that was at Everton, and glimpses of the Watford Richarlison as well, that very exciting player. I just feel like he's had so many injury issues at Spurs and it just simply hasn't worked out for him. He loves the club, he adores the club, he adores the fans. I tell you what, if there is any person that is absolutely fantastic with the fans, gives the fans so much time, it is Richarlison. Unbelievable with the fans. But of course, it isn't about that. It is about delivering on the pitch. And have we had our money's worth with Richarlison? Probably not. And also Yves Bissouma. I wanted to see the Yves Bissouma that played for Brighton. I feel like we've seen glimpses, but that consistency just hasn't been there. So I wouldn't be at all surprised. I feel like them two in particular need new challenges. And I've said this before, especially around transfer windows, January window and the summer window. Sometimes you just feel as a fan, as a manager, the board, I suppose, and even as players, you feel like, there is a bit of a time for a change and you need a fresh challenge. And I feel like Bissouma and Richarlison, I feel like them two can still offer so much, but I just don't see it working out at Spurs. I feel like Ange Postecoglou will probably replace Bissouma. So I feel like that conversation has already taken place or will take place in the near future, especially leading up to the summer. And with Richarlison as well, I feel like, he's been out injured so much time. So I wouldn't be at all surprised seeing any, if not all, of those 7 depart the club. Give Me Sport have already stated that there is a lot of interest in Bissouma, and rightly so, there will be. He's a good midfielder. But will he fit into this Spurs system? Will he fit into Ange Postecoglou's system? I don't believe so. I don't believe so going forward. Big shame that the Spurs women lost again. Robert Villaham extremely frustrated after that defeat because Spurs really did put a shift in, and especially last time out they lost 5-0 away at Arsenal. And Manchester City are, a fantastic team in the WSL, so they were very unlucky not to get a draw on Sunday afternoon. Who Scored named Jed Spence in their team of the month of February, and rightly so. I tell you what, when Thomas Tuchel names his first England squad, I will be extremely surprised if Jed Spence isn't there, because the England squad, international squad, should always be based on form and not reputation. And based on form, Jed Spence has been one of the best defenders in the Premier League by far these last couple of months. So he should definitely be in that England squad, and I wish him all of the very best. I tell you what a dramatic turnaround for Jed Spence. Absolutely brilliant. Let's get into talking about the Crystal Palace players. Adam Wharton, Mark Guehi and Eze. I'm a big fan of all three, I must say. Spurs, though, do need to probably break the bank to get all three of them in. Mark Guehi, I'd love to see him at Spurs. Adam Wharton, fantastic player. We should have moved for him quickly when we had the chance before he went to Crystal Palace, in my opinion. Eze, we had chances to sign Eze as well. But I'd love to see all three of them in a Spurs shirt, if I'm completely honest. Will we do the business that all of us fans want and expect this coming summer? When I talk about 7 players could depart the club, it could even be more, actually. But if all of those depart the club, of course, Spurs need to bring players in, and we will need to go out and buy real quality. I say this every single transfer window. We need quality players in. I feel like we've gone out there, we've identified a lot of young players. We've got a lot of young players in, but now it's about signing the players that have been there, done it, got the t-shirt, and are ready-made players to make a real impact on this squad. Paul Robinson and Archie Gray have been talking about Heung-Min Son. Archie Gray, of course, has spoken very, very highly about his captain and said that Son is still world class. Robinson has come out and said, yes, he's had a dip in form. People are quick to judge, but he's been playing in a poor team. I agree with both sets of comments, actually. We haven't seen the Son that we are used to seeing. We haven't seen him this season, but there have been glimpses. And of course, Ipswich, last weekend, as a really decent performance from Sonny, a couple of assists. And that is exactly what we want to see. But of course, this squad has been worked extremely hard, and some of these players do need a rest. And I'm glad that Son has got a little bit of a rest. So hopefully, from now until the end of the season, we will see the Son that we are so used to seeing. But I tell you what, even in this so-called dip of form for Heung-Min Son, I feel like we've still seen glimpses, and I feel like he is that type of player that he can just turn it on at any given moment and curl one in the top corner and provide that killer assist. And hopefully he can do that in Premier League games and guide us as captain, up that Premier League table and perhaps all the way to the final of the Europa League. It is definitely needed, and I've said many, many times on this channel, I'd love to see someone like Heung-Min Son lift a trophy at Tottenham Hotspur. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do that follow button and leave a review if you can. Have a great week. Stay safe and well. Come on, you Spurs.